Good morning. Good morning. What's going on, you beautiful people? It's 2:54 a.m. I am in the car. I'm on my way to the gym right now. And I gotta tell you something. I'm gonna tell you about the Bible. I'm gonna tell you about God. I'm gonna tell you about something above and beyond. Let me get out of here first. I'm gonna tell you about something above and beyond miracles and turning rocks, pouring water out of rocks and raised from the dead. I'm gonna tell you about something a little bit more significant than that, but I'm gonna start off somewhere and I'm gonna bring you back to a point that you might be able to relate to. My background, who I am, or what I've been through is unique. I was as a child, I was molested by I think it was somebody. I want to say it was a place where I was being babysitted at, and I probably was around. I want to say about 4 or 5, and I want to say it was by the person who was watching me's son, and you know when this is happening. You know when this is happening to you, and it didn't go on long that I remember. And then I remember coming home on different occasions and relationships that my dad was in, including the one with my mother, and the house being completely cleared out. I mean, cleared out. I mean, dude, one day everything was all good from a child's standpoint. The next day you come home, the house is cleared out. And at this point, I wasn't no more than about 7 or 8. And then we moved around a lot. And I was always the kid coming in the middle of the school year. And I was always the kid at the principal's office. I was always the kid being set aside when there was some special event going on. I was always getting into fights. And then I remember when I was around 12 or 13, I started stealing from grocery stores in the morning before I would go to school. And then I remember being caught one time, and my grandfather, before he passed away, I remember him coming to get me from the store where the police had me. And I remember him just saying, if you ever need something, all you got to do is just ask. All you got to do is just ask. And then I remember him coming to see us a couple weeks before he died. He had never came to our house, but he showed up one day and he came to our house, and it was odd. And the next thing I know, I was being woke up early in the morning, sat down, and I was told that he passed away. He was no longer with us. And then I just remember being in and out of jail and connecting with the wrong people, and we moved into another apartment. It's off 51st Avenue in Thomas. And I remember connecting with the wrong people. And I remember going to jail for stealing a car. And then another car. And then another car. And then playing with guns. Then selling drugs. And then being out on the street because I couldn't get along with nobody at home. And I'm not even 16 yet at this point. So I'm walking around this morning, and I'm sitting there, and I love T.D. Jakes. I believe he's truly anointed. I believe he has it. I agree with his spirit and what he's saying. I agree with. And he's talking about these figures, these head figures, these people that were called by God. He's talking about Saul, and he's talking about David, and he's talking about Peter, and he's talking about Joseph and his brothers, and he's talking about all these individuals, these great individuals. He's talking about I want to say it's Ahab, or I'm not sure who the actual lineage is of David, how she was a prostitute. He's talking about all these great people. It's like God uses messy, dirty people that ain't got it all together, as the ones that he uses to go out to the masses. And I'm not saying he's using me. I know he's given me a gift of my voice, of how I talk. Without a doubt. Without a doubt, he's given me that. But consider something. Consider that David was a killer. David was a killer. David had Bathsheba's husband sent out to war to be killed intentionally so he could keep her. And then I start thinking about the places that I choose to be at right now for my faith, for my business. The founder of my brokerage, about the same time I was going to prison, he was involved in the shooting that damn near took his arm off. We're about the same age. Rough time. Rough time. And then look at my pastor. Was looking at 7 to 21 years in prison. Right around the same time that I was going to prison. I say all that to say that if you take a moment and really kind of reflect back on your life, there was never a coincidence. There was reasons why things happened. And I say all that to say there's a lot of people that look up to the founder of my brokerage, because his story empowers people to say you can do it too. My pastor has one of the biggest churches in the valley, and a lot of people look up to him because he says, if I can do it, you can do it too. It's not coincidence that I'm surrounded by a bunch of messy people who believe that they can do it, and their faith is based in God. So I think we have this misconception about church and God. It's funny because you think that you're giving your money away to the preacher, But I done gave more this year, and I done made more this year. I don't care. I know who gives it to me. And then we have this misconception about perfect people. But nobody great in the Bible was perfect. And if they were, they didn't come from perfect genes. So that simply means that the chains that was once binding them are no longer there. They broke them. Joseph broke them. Because trust me, the genealogy of his family is a proven fact that they was messed up. Nobody. There's nobody that God likes to use more than a messy person. I know that. I know that. There's no coincidence. I believe, and when I say I believe, meaning this just came to me right now, I believe that I've endured everything that I've endured so that I can say to you, you can get through it. You can get through it. You can get through it. See, all you simply working to get through is your insecurities, your fear, and your lack of faith. That's all you're working to. That's all. See, you think it's going to be rough forever, but I got to tell you something, that usually the people who appear to have it all figured out, those are typically the people who have confidence and who have faith. They have confidence and they have faith. Those are usually the ones that you look at and you just say, wow, you got this figured out, don't you? That's confidence and faith. It's just like every July, August in Arizona, we'll have monsoon. I guess there's a chance that it won't happen. But the fact that it's happened before gives me faith that it will happen again. Or I'll take you a little bit deeper. Like when I had no money and my bank account was at zero and the bills was piling up, and man, it got so bad that I didn't even, dude, I didn't even want to go to the mailbox. And when I did, I just looked at the pile of stuff. I just looked at it. Pile of bills. But they got paid. I didn't get kicked out my home. My lights weren't turned off. I didn't have to explain to my kids why. See, I remember growing up in a house with kerosene lamps burning and space heaters and and all this other crazy stuff, sleeping on the floor, and lights going off. And I remember that. I remember food boxes, and it's just like, dude, why are we going through this? But I went through it so that I can get to this point and say that you'll make it. You can make it. You can make it. Been molested, so have I. You can make it. Been to prison, so have I. You can make it. Been homeless, so have I. You can make it. Got a felony on your record, so have I. You can make it. You got weight problems, so have I. You can make it. You're black, so am I. You can make it. You don't have an education, so do I. You can make it. You can make it. Didn't have your parents around, so did I. You can make it. You can make it. So when people start talking about church and why they don't go, I'm sitting there thinking, dude, if you get sick and the first place you'll go is a doctor, why the first place when you mentally got issues is not going to be the church? Because if history in this book, this Bible teaches me anything, it teaches me that all the sick people are in church, and all the people with problems are the ones running around saving the world. You couldn't have wrote a better superhero book than that. So if you think God can't use you, I'd have you consider my history and my past. I used to get my butt beat for going to church. And then all my other relatives, they'd be up, dressed, ready to go. All of them. All of them. But now I'm doing all right. And that's a testimony that if you're a messy person, God is looking for you to turn around and make a change. The funny part is, you can do it at any moment you feel like it. Any moment that it has hurt enough, just turn the light switch on and go in a different direction. But ain't nobody gonna make you. Everything you need is in the house.